me see a show of hands. A show of hands of how you guys feel about the young talent on the San Francisco 49ers. I think it's promising, and I think the 49ers young talent, the young blood, these rookies, is going to make this team contenders in 2025. Smash that like button and stick around for the Wayne Breezie Show. What's going on, 49ers faithful? It's your boy, the Wayne Breezie, back for another Wayne Breezie Show. Sound the foghorn, baby. Give that round of applause. That's right. 49ers, one of your favorite content creators is here. 49ers football. We are going into training camp practice number 10 on today. So they're about 10 days. They're going to have 10 days of practice and after today is over with, and you can really start to kind of like dig in with the evaluations and things like that. All right, because we got preseason football. Another round of applause. 49ers preseason football this freaking Saturday. This Saturday. Let me just check my schedule. We got the Denver Broncos, man. You know what I'm saying? Coming into town. About to get mud stomped by the San Francisco 49ers. So you can see the smile on my face because we got some 49ers football to prepare for this upcoming weekend. So camp practice is all going to be exciting. Now, let me just tame some of the expectations out there. Don't expect to see, the Brocks, the Nick Bosa's, for a long period of time. Fred Warner's, Trent Williams. I'm not even expecting these guys to play. But what I am expecting is to see the young blood out there. And I mean the rookies, the new players, things like that, man. Because I want to see how quick and how acclimated they are to executing Kyle Shanahan and Robert Saleh's offensive and defensive plans for the San Francisco 49ers. And it starts in preseason. It starts in training camp, but preseason is where you get an opportunity to see proper execution. One of my biggest staples on the 2024 season, we can chalk it up to injuries, but at the end of the day, the players that played, they poorly executed. I don't care if they were veterans, young players, the execution was terrible. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning into the show. I truly appreciate everybody, man, rocking with your boy every Monday and Friday around this time. Every Monday and Friday, we're going to be here between 11:30. So the hours are weird because some days it might be a 1 p.m. start, a 12 p.m. start, 11:30 a.m. start, but the range is there. So 11:30, I would say to 2 p.m. We'll definitely have the show done by 2 p.m. Eastern time. Shout out to everybody on the West Coast. Wake up, baby! On the East Coast, your behind should already be woke or awakened. I guess that's the proper terminology. But again, welcome to the stream. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It is super important. Now, if you are new to the stream, you're new to this channel and YouTube and Facebook and Twitch and Twitter, they're doing their job, they're doing their due diligence. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. You want to help support what I'm doing here on the YouTube channel and bringing you that good quality 49ers content, football, NFL content. You got to subscribe to the channel. That's super important, man. It doesn't cost you a thing but a click or flick of that subscribe button. So hit that subscribe button. All right. And check me out on all the other social platforms as well. You got Twitch, you got Twitter or X, whatever we call it. It's so hard calling it X. It's been Twitter for like 95 years and calling it X is so weird. You know what I'm saying? But Threads, all right, Instagram. Don't forget to follow on Instagram as well. Now, exclusive content will be back up and running. I'm recording stuff as we speak. So the Patreon will be back. For those that are special members of the Patreon, you're going to get the Flex Bomb because you guys have been rocking out with me and spending your hard-earned money. And trust me, the content is going to be great on the Patreon. So I wanted to give you guys a special flex breezy bomb. We're going to call that the breezy bomb for the Patreon members. All right. And if you want that exclusive content, all you got to do is go over there and sign up. Now, I tell you right now, I've been working on a lot of data. So data is available for $1 stinking dollar, right? All you got to do, sign up to the Patreon. You get the $1 tier, and you will have access to all of the 49ers and NFL data that is created. We're going to look at some of that data today as we look at the current depth chart. Niners continue to make moves all across the board, man. These dudes are just releasing the player, signing the player, signing the player, releasing the player, waving the player, signing the player. It's just crazy, right? It's what it is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I have 94 men on the roster, and I know you can have 90, and I know we have some PUPs, and we got some IR spots that have been sort of kind of designated already, but got to trim that down to 90, unless that's the new rules allows them to have extra linemen or whatever. I don't know, but it's pretty packed. All right, it's pretty packed. So guys, make sure you check me out as well if you're listening. Shout out to all the listeners, Spotify, Apple Podcast, the YouTube podcast. Right now, YouTube is pushing the Wayne Breezie Show, and it turned it into a podcast. It turned the Wayne Breezie Show playlist into a podcast. So thank you, YouTube. Don't know why you did it, but I appreciate it, right? You guys are just listening to it, not watching. Appreciate that as well. So yeah, podcast is definitely growing. I think we're on episode 291 or 292. We're definitely climbing up the charts here on the podcast. And again, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Now, if you want to become a member of the Breezy Bunch crew, all you got to do is click on that join button, and you will be able to support the stream. And if you are a member of the Breezy Bunch crew, here's some of the cool perks, right? You get priority and replies to me on the live shows. Okay, so priority there. You also get the cool little badge by your name. That's cool too, right? And you get the early member shout out. Speaking of shout outs, let's get to them, baby. I'm excited, man. We got a lot of members of the Breezy Bunch crew in the building. They be here faithfully, and you guys are faithful 100%. Give yourselves a round of applause as well. Lots of rounds of the applauses, for sure. Don't bother me. It's first in the building. What's good, bro? Says good morning, Wayne, into the faithful. Appreciate you. Jax Knox in the building. Hey, Wayne and faithful. It's Monday. Hope everyone's weekend was great. Back to business. 49ers, like, subscribe, and join the Breezy Bunch crew. Boats is in the building for sure, my man. Clown, man. That's a funny comment. He said it's 8:30. It's 10:30 in the morning. Hey, bro, look, I try to get it in early. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got some new Bleacher Report stuff that's going to be popping. You guys can follow me on the Bleacher Report app too. Type in my name, Wayne Patrick Brown. It should pop up. Should be Wayne Breezie there too as well, but it is what it is. Boats is in the building. 49ers throwback and the underscore throwback. Don't get it twisted. Good morning to all the faithful. Peachy in the building. Good morning, Breezy, and everyone popping in to say, hope all of you have a blessed and productive Monday. Hey, speaking of that, check out our latest mock draft, fantasy mock draft with myself, co-host Peachy Brown. It is mock draft 4.0. You can check it out right up there. Click on the link. Have some fun. If you're into mock drafting, fantasy football, if you're into fantasy football, check it out because we release live strategies depending on where we're drafting from. We had pick 11 too. Woo, it was rough. So check out that show. Check out that episode. Leave a comment. Leave your feedback. All that good stuff. All is welcome. All right. All is welcome. All right. Now, I do see some questions out there. I'll definitely get to the questions toward the end of the show. My brother Oscar in the building. BB calling it now. Williams. Ooh. Second in defensive rookie of the year voting with 12 sacks. Breezy bomb. Woo. That's a take. That's a take. Now, see, when you are a member, you get the priority of getting your message read like that, or you can super chat. Super chats bump you up to the line too. But he says second. So who's going to be first defensive rookie of the year? I'm trying to think of the defensive players that went before Michael Williams. And I'm trying to think of who you feel like is going to be first. But 12 sacks, good golly, oh Molly. It's going to be interesting because I think the Niners are going to use him inside and outside, right? It's going to be fun to watch this guy, work for sure. It's going to be really, 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 really fun to watch him work. Matthew in the building. Good morning, faithful. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Appreciate you, Matthew, as well. Tanisha, what's going on, sis? Good morning, Breezy and the Breezy Bunch. Red Jet Shell in the freaking building. What's good, everyone? Blessings to all this Monday. Like, sub, and share. Appreciate it. I see, Red Jet, you doing your thing out there. Don't think we not watching. Keep up the great freaking work. Keep up the great work. I want to see you on more shows. Matter of fact, you got to give me a morning or maybe you could jump on a Nitty Gritty show because it's in the evening. That might work better for you. We'll figure it out, but got to get you on the show, especially when the season starts. So start looking into your calendar. Leslie, she says, do we really have a lot of injuries or I love Miss Leslie right here. She says, do we really have a lot of injuries or are players being put into timeout so they don't really get injured? Listen, I've been talking about this, for the period of time. I feel like Kyle Shanahan, our head coach, our wonderful, beloved head coach, is going into year 9. And I think he's starting to really understand, like, our players, our stuff is rigorous over here in the Bay, right? The weather is crazy. We put guys through these rigorous types of workout. I mean, they were damn near training with Navy SEALs at the beginning of the season in OTAs, right? So I expect Navy SEAL type workouts. And I really do feel like you can tell he's giving these veterans extra time off. Your Christian McCaffreys, your Trent Williams, these guys is rarely practicing. Even Nick Bosa, right? These guys are practicing, but they're getting the extra treatment. Juwan Jennings, that's a question mark. A lot of people feel like Juwan Jennings is injured with this calf, and he is. I don't want to take that injury away from him, but the calf injury, in my opinion, I think it's a strain. They haven't called it anything yet, though, but I do think it's a strain. Now, strain is a way better name than sprain. So you want the strain. Strain just means soreness. I just want to put that out there. Like my whole body is strained. I left the gym this morning strained, stained. Give me some other words. Disordained. I don't know, but I left feeling sore and hurt as a mug. But I'm not hurt. I'm not injured. I'm hurt. Right? I think he's a little hurt. I think the Juwan Jennings situation is a little different, though. I think Juwan Jennings is like, we gonna get this contract done, and if not, I'm going to just milk this calf injury. Now, the good news is Juwan Jennings was seen at practice working out on the side, so I don't know if he's that injured, but I do think this is one of those things where Kyle Shanahan is just like, look, I need my guys. We'll sign players, but I need my cores. I need my guys. So if they're dealing with a pain or a strain or sprain or whatever, let them rock out. They can sit out and bring me in some guys so I can at least get through practice. And the cool thing about bringing in these guys is that Kyle Shanahan gets to give these guys a workout. They can get kind of like introduced to somewhat of the system here offensively and defensively. And if there's some type of an injury that's sustainable throughout the season, Kyle and Saleh have these guys that they can that they have on speed dial. Do we still use speed dial? Is that still a thing? Is speed dial still a thing? Excuse me if I burped. I'm juicing and I don't know what's in the juice. It's all green. So my bad. But that's a great question. Shout out to Michael. I see you over on Facebook, man. Shout out to all the Facebook people over there. I don't know why Facebook fans don't like YouTube, but I don't mind. That's why I'm streaming live. I mean, listen, let me tell you, if I told you how much it cost me per year to stream on all these channels at the same damn time, you would probably smack the living dog out of me. But it costs. I would tell you this, it's over $1,000. I don't know why it went up. I don't understand what happened. And I'm gonna be the first person to say this, and don't take this negatively, or if you do, I miss COVID. When COVID hit, everything was cheap. We got to stay home. Everything was cheap. Everything cost $1.50. My streaming services went up. I mean, Netflix is $95 a month. Paramount, now they're charging $675 a year. I don't understand what's going on. Like, I need COVID back to where the world was cheap. You know what I'm saying? Gas was cheap. Gas was $1.06. I know gas was still expensive. But my point is, I miss those things. You know what I'm saying? I do. I truly do. If I missed any member shout outs, my apologies. I want to get to the show. But thank you guys for being here for the first 15 minutes. I got to do my member shout outs. If you don't like that part, fast forward that part on the show. All right, we got some super chat contributions. I told you, man, they get the priorities. Let's go. Jax Knox in the building. It's Monday. Football is back. That's right. Football is back on this Monday. And like I said, we play this Saturday. Got the Denver Broncos coming into town. We got Sean Payton and Bo Nix about to get that work. You dig? 100%. I'm acting like this game count and this game matter. It does matter. It matters to me because it's 49ers football. You know what I'm saying? Turbo. 9,777 standouts in camp so far is the question. Go Niners. Well, just to give you a quick rundown, today's show, we're going to focus on some of these rookies, but Nick Bosa's been standing out. I mean, people have been saying that this has been Bosa's best camp prior to like that rookie season where he was coming in and trying to outwork everybody. And I feel like, you know, with Bosa, is Bosa going into year 7? Is Bosa really going into year 7? No. Yes. No. Somebody do the math. I don't have math in my head right now, but God dang, that he's been in the league for a minute. It's just weird. I think he's going into year 7. Sugar snaps. 2019 minus 2025. Somebody do the math. And I don't have my calculator with me. You know what I'm saying? But that's tremendous. And you know what's cool about Nick Bosa? I think, and I truly believe Bosa, I'm going to give you one on the offensive side as well, but I feel like Nick Bosa feels, and I'm not saying he feels this way, but I just get this vibe from him. Like, and I never really get vibes from Nick Bosa, but if Breezy's getting a vibe, that's good. I feel like he gets this vibe where he has not been playing to his standards, not the gold standard, not the 49ers standard, not the red and gold, his standards. I am super interested to see how well Nick Bosa production turns out this year. It's going to be really fun to watch. And on the offensive side, I mean, who's the Nick Bosa of the offense? It's 49ers tight end George Kittle. I mean, George Kittle, I believe, is the longest tenured 49er. I mean, go back to 2017, 5th round. I mean, at the end of the day, like, this dude has been having a phenomenal camp. And it's like, I don't know if he's aging or is he or slowing down, but I love it. I love the energy. Always love the Kittle vibe. And Kittle has been, you know, you can tell, like, whenever you hear Brock Purdy in practice, him and Kittle, they have been a thing. They have been a match made in heaven. And so, you know, George Kittle offensively, and don't get it twisted, like, there's Christian McCaffrey's been having a good camp offensively. Fred Warner defensively has been having a good camp, and you expect those guys to. But you know, just some of those veterans that return. Trent Williams been having a good, like, you're expecting that. But I think the standouts, Turbo 9777, has been offensively George Kittle. And let me know what you guys think. I could be wrong, you know. And defensively, I think Nick Bosa has been definitely doing the thing. Terror Dome in the building. What's going on? Bishop, what's going on? The jet gassed up. I like that. The jet gassed up, man. You know what I'm saying? Listen, it's going to be super exciting with 49er football being back, them actually playing a game. We'll preview a little bit of it on Friday's episode. But it's good. It's just really exciting for me. I don't know about you, but I am super excited and ready to go. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at some updates with the San Francisco 49ers, because I keep telling you, man, they are spinning the wheel like it's nothing. All right. They are spinning that wheel like it's nothing. Now, as far as players that have been activated, linebacker Curtis Robinson has been activated from the PUP. He actually practiced on last I think Saturday, or excuse me, Sunday. He actually practiced. No, they were off Sunday. They're on today. So Saturday he practiced, eased them into practice. That's a good sign. So the linebacking core gets more depth, right? And they get veteranship. So veteranship and depth is key. Now, I know I made a crazy wild take at the beginning of this season, and I said something about, you know, if Curtis Rock, I put the caveat out there. I said, if he's healthy, I expect him to be linebacker, 2 or 3. Why? Because his experience, and he was having a tremendous camp at linebacker 2. It just hit me. I'm going to take a sip of this green crap. Man, that ginger burn. It just hit me. Curtis Robinson was having a tremendous camp. This is the year we still had Dre Greenlaw. And this is right before we signed the other guy. And then he tore his ACL. Now, let's be realistic. It seems like when players tear their ACLs, it takes them a little time. Okay, it takes them a little time to really get back into ACLs, Achilles, whatever. It takes them some time to get reacclimated to football and their mentality. Now, Curtis Robinson is practicing. It is training camp. That's a good sign. So that good sign for Curtis Robinson. We'll see what happens. I know a lot of players, people are like, what, who, what? Not. Listen, he was having a tremendous camp. He was going into linebacker. He was at linebacker 2. If you guys remember last season, because remember, Dre Greenlaw was on the PUP. He was linebacker 2. He tore his ACL, and they had to sign the bum. And then we had to kind of force some of the young players. Now, look, D. Winters having an amazing camp. Okay, let's just keep it a buck. I like Nick Martin, the rookie, as well. But golly, this is going to be fun to watch. Will Curtis Robinson have enough in the tank to outcompete and outplay some of these young players that they have? That's going to be the question to ask. Now, offseason updates, don't forget, August 28th, the rivalry uniforms. August 7th is the White Clark Day for those that are going to be attending. Roster moves. The 49ers signed offensive tackle Isaiah Prince. Wide receiver Robbie Chosen is back. Now, they've released wide receiver Marquez Callaway, and this morning they released cornerback Trey Avery. We're going to take a look at the depth chart in a second, but let's just go ahead and check out Robbie Chosen, okay? AKA, he's had several names. He changed his name to Chosen, and it is what it is. You know what? He's been chosen for so long, I can't remember his government name that he was named at birth. I know it was Robbie something, but it's been chosen. It's almost like Ocho. Didn't Ocho Cinco change his name? Some of these wide receivers changing his name. Maybe Jawan Jennings will change his name to like JJ third down or something like that. I don't know, but it's just funny. Anyway, he says, thank you, God, for blessing me with this opportunity. Thank you to the 49ers for this opportunity. Thank you to my wife, Charm. Her name is Charm. That's what's up. Charm and Chosen. Psh, dope. I think that's her name. My family, my friends, and those who have supported me through this test of faith and growth. And to those who have doubted, I love y'all and seek God to remove those thoughts from within yourself. He says, I could have stayed in San Francisco, and I want to make sure I get this whole thing because I feel like I'm missing something. Last year, instead of going back to Miami, I made a family first decision, and I won't say a mistake. And I won't say a mistake or regret a mistake or regret. It was all in God's hands and his plans. All that I've learned has shaped me to who I am today. It's motivated me and made me better. I'm thankful for this opportunity. It's not what you go through, but how you grow through. Oh, I like that. I like that. Even if I did end it on that, that's actually kind of dope. It's not what you go. The whole thing. I got that. That's what I got. It says it's not what you go through. It's how you grow through. Never give up and trust God to do it right. All right. So this is the statement that Robbie Chosen, the wide receiver that the 49ers have signed, put into his notes, and he released it out there to the world. Look, the Niners are currently figuring out what the hell they're going to do at the wide receiving position because they got some injuries at the wide receiving position. They have players on the IR. They got players dinged up. You got players dinged up. Jacob Cowing with the hamstring injury and Jawan Jennings with this calf injury. And, it's just a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Now, looking at my depth chart, because we're going to look at the depth chart. I said we're going to go to it. And as you can see, I got cool with the colors and it's color-coded and stuff like that. And just looking at the 49ers wide receivers, all right, you can see another veteran. And look at the orange. That's important. And so the orange are the free agent guys that they brought in. And everybody else are the guys that have been here. So Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings, Tariq Owens, those are, and obviously Brandon Ayuk. Those are guys that are already familiar with the system. Yo, this is crazy now that I think about it. I like doing live shows with you guys, and I apologize if I'm not really geared toward the chat right now because I got a little presentation to make, but this is so freaking crazy. Check this out. Brandon Ayuk on the PUP. He's itching to get back, though, and I like what we're seeing. Brandon Ayuk has been doing what he can according to the NFL rules because he's on the PUP, so he can't practice, but he's been out there and he's been getting great endorsements from Leonard Hankerson. I don't understand. Like, Brandon Ayuk has been showing tremendous growth as far as the maturity and things like that. And I'm telling you, you can let me just say this about Brandon Ayuk. You can tell when a player loves, that's not the word. You can tell when there's a difference between loving something and being in love with it, right? You can tell when a player's in love with what he does. Because right now, Brandon Ayuk, number one, is out there. That's number one. Number two, and I know he has to be contractually out there, and I get it. But number two, this guy has to be out there. He can't even participate. Like, he can't do anything according to the CBA rules because he's on the PUP, so he can't practice. He hasn't been cleared by the doctors. But the fact that he's been out there and he's still trying to show signs of growth as far as his healing, that's tremendous. Number three, he's been a staple in the wide receiving room. We're not talking about Brandon Ayuk enough on a positive tip. Everything we talk about Brandon Ayuk is, get him out of here, trade him. He's a distraction. He's a diva. All that could be true. That's fine. That's how you feel about him. But he's also a great player. He's also a great man. He's also a great person. He's also a great teammate. So we can talk about him and say those things about Brandon Ayuk. That's fine. But don't forget the other parts. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to shed the light. So congratulations to Brandon Ayuk. I'm hoping he's healing a lot quicker and ready to go a lot quicker without rushing the process, right? You know what I mean? I don't want him to rush the process. Now, we got a super chat contribution because those definitely take precedence. So let me shout out to Scotty freaking D in the place to be. Purdy versus Mahomes topic on Reddit is trending. We actually have a good defense of Brock going. Vibe Summer Team Breezy. Scotty D, can you tag me? My name is Wayne Breezie on Reddit, and I'm new to Reddit. So can you get me acclimated on Reddit, bro? Can you do that for me and get me into that? And I appreciate this because this is the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. This is the Super Bowl. I'm AFC. If I didn't pick your team, my bad. But I think it's going to be Niners. It's going to be Chiefs. Just what it is, because Kyle has to find a way to beat Andy Reid. I mean, we could win the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't beat Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, it ain't the same. I just want to, and don't get it twisted. I want to win the Super Bowl. I don't care who we beat. I want to beat Andy Reid. And I don't care if we beat him by half a point. Like, I just want to beat Reid and Mahomes. You know, it doesn't do anything to them. But it just that's the monkey off the back. Like, because Kyle can't beat Andy Reid. I'll leave it at that. He hasn't. Show me. Somebody tell me when Kyle Shanahan has beat Andy Reid. I know I just went off on a tangent, but super chat contribution. Shout out to Scotty D. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen, I like this. Because people have been crapping on Patrick Mahomes. Fine. I don't care. He's not my quarterback. But show Brock some love, man, because I really think Brock his mentality, I really feel like it's taking a notch up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about him making the mistakes. It's about him learning from the mistakes. I expect every player to make mistakes. Nobody's going to be out there perfect. But it's about how quickly he learns from those mistakes that he makes. And I like our schedule. You know, I do. I don't feel like we're playing those crazy defenses that are going to kind of trick. Now, don't get it twisted. Everybody's defense is going to try to trick Brock Purdy up. Right? This is what they do. They get paid to do that. But I like this, man. Purdy versus Mahomes. I think this is the Super Bowl. I truly think that's going to be the Super Bowl that we get back to. Now, back to my sheet, that wide receiver room. I wanted to say look at the orange colors. The orange colors represent the veteran free agents we signed: DeMarcus Robinson, Russell Gage, Isaiah Hodgins, Andy Isabella, Robbie Chosen just brought in, right? And then when you look at the green colors, those are the 2 rookies we drafted. And then when you look at the blue color, it's the undrafted player. So the Niners wide receiving room is deep. I think the question is, and I might talk about this on Bleacher Report, how sharp is the 49ers wide receiving room? That's a topic. Why? Because, man, we need Pearsall and Jennings to be the 1 and 2. And then everybody else can kind of, work themselves in. But I need we need Pearsall to be healthy. We need Jennings to be healthy. I don't see a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, so I don't see a lot of 11 personnel. And we'll come back to this. Now, this is one of the type of things you get on the Patreon exclusively for the $1 tier. So if you sign up for the $1 tier, all you got to do is click on this link, put your email address in, and you will get access. And ask somebody, like, they get the access to the data to where they can read it and have it. And these are updated like daily. So as the Niners update their rosters, boom. Now, I said I got like 94 men on. I counted 94 players, and I feel like somebody ain't supposed to be up there. So I got to go through it. But anyway, that wide receiving room, is it going to be sharp? Like, how do they find a way? And they're bringing in veterans. So pay attention to that. They're bringing in guys that have had success, have had success, and they won't sign those key guys, right? They won't sign the Keenan Allen. Here's what I'm learning. Kyle Shanahan is not going to spend the moolah on these wide receivers. I think the question is, though, is it Kyle Shanahan or is it Jed York that's, lessening the wallet? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's lessening that his expense. Like, you know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, but Kyle is able to get some players in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's gonna be interesting to watch. So keep an eye on that wide receiving room, and there's probably going to be more signings and things like that. And again, Trent Taylor's on the IR, so I expect him to either be released. I don't think they'll keep him on the IR and stash him on the IR because they signed Andy Isabella, and if Andy Isabella is healthy and doing what he needs to do, I think there's no reason to keep Trent Taylor. So that'll be one less player on the IR spot. You know what I'm saying? Now, if these players land on the IR spot before the season starts, they are on the IR for the whole season. So right now, Trent Taylor, quarterback Curtis Rourke, and defensive lineman Taron Jackson are all on the injured reserve as of right now. All right. So they're all on the injured reserve as of right now. So keep that in mind and keep your ear to the streets. These are some of the new signings that the 49ers have. All right. And speaking of injury report, again, Taron Jackson, IR, Jawan Jennings, calf, no timetable. Wide receiver Jacob Cowing, hamstrings, out for 2 to 3 weeks. Renardo Green, hamstring, 2 to 3 weeks. Possible return in next week for the Raiders practice, which is where everybody's going to be geared toward. Cornerback Deommodore Lenoir should be back at practice. He did have some type of practice. He did do something on the sideline at the last practice, but he didn't fully practice. Kyle Juszczyk did leave practice, a little discomfort. Isaac Guerrero also left practice on the special teams play where he hurt his right shoulder, which means the Niners, if he isn't good to go, Patrick Taylor, to me, will be the running back too. Jordan James is dealing with the knee injury. Amir Abdullah looks fired up, ready to go. Do they bring in another running back? Do they sign another running back to bring in for camp? So we got to keep an ear on the streets for Isaac Guerrero because I'm really rooting for the kid. I think he's going to have a great second year depending on what he's asked to do. All right, let's talk about the 49ers defensive rookie. Which rookie is having the best camp so far? So drop your name inside the chat. We're going to do a live interaction. You let me know. I will talk about that name. Let's knock this out the park. I got a poll question going on. Which 49ers defensive rookie is going to have the best season this year? I put 4 of them up there. And if you didn't see one of the defensive rookies like Nick Martin, it's okay. But take a look at those 4 names. Those were the top 100 players. I know Nick Martin was the top 100. Take a look at those names. Let me know what you guys think. All right. Which 49ers defensive rookie is having the best camp so far? So I got a couple of questions, a couple of things I want to talk about as far as which rookie. Now, we've heard a lot from Michael Williams. It was really good to hear the rookie speak. If you didn't get a chance to check out the press, go to YouTube and 49ers, or it might be on 49ers.com. So they're probably up there as well. But we got a chance to hear them as well. So make sure you guys check that out. All right. Now, I said put the names in the chat. Let's talk about some of these guys in the chat. My man Scotty D with a super chat contribution. We'll take a quick pause to take a look at this. Scotty D says silver lining of under radar wide receivers. If Brock cooks, he will get more credit and potential dark horse MVP candidate if he can get them to NFC #1 seed, possibly given an easy schedule. So can I get a minute before we talk about some of these rookies? And I'm going to star some of the rookies that you guys pointed out there as well. Members or not members. If you're a member, you'll get it posted. If you're not a member, hopefully I'll be able to talk it up or whatever. All right. So I want to talk about this because this is actually interesting now. This is actually interesting. And thank you, Scotty, for the super chat contributions as well. Everybody that is giving super chats. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Here's the thing. I feel like, and I agree with this, but there's a part of me that just feels when you're a 49er, though, they will move the goalpost. And here's my goalpost moving. You ready? Because you said possibly given an easy schedule. And even if you wouldn't have ended it with that, Scotty D, I would have said they, meaning the analyst and the people, not us, but the people out there, and I'm calling them people and we're the faithful. So there's a difference between being faithful and people. Just want to put that out there. They will say, well, they had an easy schedule. And I'll be like, well, damn. Like, what does Brock have to do? Now, I do like the beginning of this because the wide receiving room is unproven. Okay? It's one proven guy. And you know what? I'll give it 1.5 proven guys. I'll give it 2 proven guys, but 2 players that equal halves. And I'm going to go with the vets over even Ricky Pearsall. You heard Brock talk about Ricky Pearsall and said, like, he's gotten a lot better in understanding his assignments out there and why you saw the surge toward the end of the season. Now, I don't know if you guys remember that game, and it was a positive game. I mean, there was a play where Ricky Pearsall lined up in the wrong spot. He still got the ball and got the first down. I think he got like 20 yards off the play. He was lined up wrong, and that play could have went wrong, but because of his athleticism, he was able to make a play out of it. That's some of the stuff that Brock Purdy was kind of talking about without throwing him under the bus or anything like that. But he said that he's gotten a lot better, and that's why he started to see a lot more targets toward the end of the season. That's why I'm going to put these 2 guys, Demarcus Robinson and Russell Gage, ahead of Ricky Pearsall because they are veterans in this league, and they have proven that they can be a factor, especially Demarcus Robinson. And if you guys don't know who Demarcus Robinson is, I will challenge you to just go watch the Niners play the Rams. You'll know who he is. As far as Russell Gage, he had some really good seasons to me in Atlanta. I think he played in Tampa Bay as well, but he's just that veteran that just knows where to be when the ball is thrown. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like I'll put those 2 together because they never played with Brock before. But who are the 2 guys? Who are the 2 veterans in camp? Who are the 2 veterans all we keep hearing about? Demarcus Robinson and Russell Gage, which is interesting because I think, how do those 2 veterans make this squad? That's going to be interesting. Kyle Shanahan. And so I'm not saying that they're X wide receivers or they're tier 1 wide receivers or anything like that. But as far as Brock, we know the rapport is there with Juwan Jennings. We know he's building the rapport, and now he has to build the rapport with everybody else. And we're also talking about minus Brandon Ayuk. It's common sense that the dude's on the PUP, he's not going to play at the beginning of the season. So we have to take that out of the equation. But you add Brandon Ayuk back to the equation, Brock's going to have a squad as far as his wide receiving core. I think this is why Kyle isn't going to spend, or Jed doesn't want to spend tons of bread on a potential player that can potentially get hurt and cost them cash. It makes kind of sense. As much as I want to see Keenan Allen, we do know what's the wide receiver that just retired from the Buffalo Bills. Can't think of his name. Played for the Cowboys. He retired. Amari Cooper. All right, so he's done for right now, I guess. And so Robbie Chosen, not Robbie Chosen. Keenan Allen is out there apparently looking for a job. So I'm kind of glad they're not spending the money on Keenan. Because honestly, we got Juwan Jennings, and I kind of feel like they're the same player. Keenan might have better footwork and could work the underneath routes better, but Juwan is the more contested catch type of guy. So, but he moved. My point is they're similar in the moving the chains. So I like this, but I do feel like they're going to move the freaking goal freaking post. All right, now back to which 49ers defensive rookie is having the best camp so far. Let's talk about the defensive rookies, and we'll talk about even some of the undrafted guys. Now, right now, I believe CJ West might be leading the pack of the best rookies out there. I do believe that. CJ West. And Tara Dome says, have it your way, CJ. Got a chance to hear him speak at the presser as well. I mean, the dude sounds so well put together. And here's the thing. He didn't throw anybody under the bus. They asked him about his teammates. He was just like, listen, they challenged me. I challenged them. I'm out there to try to get better, just like they're trying to get better. I might beat them on one rep, and then they come back with a different move I've never seen before, and now I got to figure out how to counter that move. I love it. This is what camp is all about. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what camp is all about. This is how you get stronger, period. I felt like I wish I had the Kanye music cue, one of my favorite Kanye West songs. At the end of the day, I love what CJ West is bringing to the table. You're talking about a guy. This was the second defensive tackle that the Niners drafted. I thought the formula was great. You draft this mountain of a guy, and then you draft that short stout. He's 6'1", 300 plus pounds with crazy freaking leverage, and the power is there. Now, he's going to have some good days. He's going to have some bad days, because sometimes his height, his leverage isn't going to always win. That's why he has to learn some of these other moves. But these are rookies. So I like that. Terradon says CJ West. Jax Knox says Upton Stout. You got two players, defensive players, in my opinion, that have been saying, look at me now. Look at me now. Oh, hey, we getting paper. Yeah, I don't know the Busta Rhymes verse. But look at me now. Like I feel like the eyes are on potentially like these two players a lot, because when they put in CJ West, when he rotates, they want to see how much energy he has. What's his motor looking like? Can he win off the get off? And then when they put it up to Stout, bruh, can you cover in the slot? Do you know how hard it is to play in the slot? Do you know how hard it is to play in the slot? It is tough. All right. It is tough. So I really like the Upton Stout situation. I'm not going to say he's cornerback 3, but I think he starts. I will go out and say I believe in when the teams come out with 3 wide receiving sets, when they come out in that 11 personnel, typically that's your 3 wide receiver sets. You got your 2 wide receivers, you got your guy that's going to play in the slot. You're going to see a lot of that from Seattle. You're going to see a lot of that from Arizona, and you're going to see tons of it from the Rams. All right, because what do we know about the Rams? Well, we know that Matthew Stafford has been really good at the efficient game. Now, he's dealing with a back injury, so that puts Jimmy Garoppolo out there. And we know Jimmy Garoppolo has been good with efficient football as well. It's when they got to take those deep shots down the football field. So if they get the ball out of their hands quickly, this is going to play into the favor of the opposing team. What I like about Upton Stout is he's been a menace on the football field. And can he cover? He's short too, right? But can he cover the big guys in the slot? Can he cover the Devontae Adams? Can he cover the Cooper Kupps? Can he cover the and I think Arizona would be wise. I hope they're not listening. But I think the AZ Cardinals Nation or whatever they call it would be wise. Put Marvin Harrison. I understand he's your guy, he's your speed guy. Put that big sucker in the slot. If he can find way, like if that's what I would do. So this poses the question, right? Does the Niners go with the veteran and like a Trey Brown, or do they go with this guy that's like surging and rising up in freaking practice in the Upton Stout? So I like Upton Stout, and I feel like I'm looking through the chat, and I'm only seeing 2 names. Now I got 4 names. I saw Williams up there, Michael Williams up there. I'm interested to see what they do with Michael Williams because I want to know what Chris Kocurek is thinking. And I don't know what Chris Kocurek is thinking. And what do I mean by that? We drafted him as an edge. We drafted him to set the edge. But why do I feel like they're going to probably on base downs line him up in the inside? You think he's one of the better interior defensive linemen. His versatility screams through the roof. It's one of the reasons why I think they drafted him in the first round. I mean, if you get drafted in the first round, that means you have versatility. Michael Williams, in my opinion, I think is going to on the base downs, like the run downs. I don't know if you put 2 rookies out there, and I feel like you got to, but I wouldn't mind if the combination is Nick Bosa, Michael Williams, Alfred Collins. All right. And I'm scratching my head on the other guy. If Yetur is healthy, yes, you get Yetur back. But who's going to be the other bookend guy? I don't want Bryce Huff being that guy. I want him to come in on pass rushing downs. Is it Sam Okwanu? Like look, I'm telling you, like it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. But I think on your base downs, having Michael, and then on your rushing downs, you put Michael and Bosa on the outside to set the edges, just in case those quarterbacks want to try to scramble, move outside the pocket. They keep the quarterback in the pocket, and this will allow guys like CJ West to feast. He's going to get a one-on-one, and he can feast from the interior. And I wouldn't even be mad if they moved Nick Bosa to the inside and brought in Bryce Huff and Michael Williams outside on the edge. And now you got Nick Bosa going from outside to inside. I just feel like the sky's the limit for Chris Kocurek and Robert Saleh if they can force teams to get into those pass rushing freaking downs. It's going to be a freaking problem. I truly believe that. Another Eric Armstead. You called it. Like I mean that's the bell right there, right? A versatile guy. Now I think Michael Williams provides a lot more agility than Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead was definitely long, strong, slinky, kind of. He had the wingspan. I think that's what separated Eric Armstead. Eric Armstead was good for the 49ers. I do not want to act like he wasn't. There was a reason why they chose Eric Armstead over DeForest Buckner, and the reason was versatility. And if you guys haven't been watching my shows, one of the key factors to the 49ers, and if you've been watching Kyle Shanahan since he's been here, is having guys that can be versatile, that can line up in multiple positions and be effective and give you high quality execution. And I think when you draft Michael Williams, that's what you're expecting. Now, Alfred Collins, I'm hearing is not having the greatest camp. And my biggest red flag on Alfred Collins is his size. And you would think that size would be great, and it is when it comes to playing power football, but his leverage is what's killing him, and his pad level is what's killing him. And I think what's happening with these offensive linemen is they're getting up under his pads. Now, he has to figure out a way to counter this consistently, and don't get it twisted. Alfred Collins is not going to be a bust, in my opinion. What's happening is he was injured during OTAs, and he's really just getting up to par with the 49ers defensive system. So you got to give him some time, and that's what training camp is for. Let's see how well he plays. Here's what I'm expecting from Alfred Collins. Soak up these double teams. Fill these. When I say soak them up, don't get pushed back into the second level so you can allow these linebackers to play downhill. If Alfred Collins can do that consistently, year one, it's a win. Year two, he will develop those moves. He will develop. Trust me. But he already has the power. He has the strength. He just has to be able to necessarily shed blocks to get the tackles in the backfield on the rundowns and on the passing downs. He has to be able to withstand, shake those double teams or whatever or whatnot, and create and generate some type of pressure from the pocket. So it's going to take him a little time, in my opinion, to get acclimated, you know what I mean, to 49ers football, especially since he didn't have OTAs. Now, my sister Felicia is in the building. Bye, Felicia. You know I love that, right? Felicia. Anyway, she's in the building. She says, even Trent said Michael had been giving him work in camp. Hopefully his ankle is good. Well, he practiced the last practice, so I think his ankle is good to go. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to be Gucci and he's good to go. You know what I'm saying? And it's great. And Trent did say that. He said one of his promising, guys, he feels like is Michael Williams. Listen, that kid is literally a big guy on the outside. It's going to be interesting to see how well all of these rookies execute their assignments. You know what I mean? Most teams, you're not expecting. You're depending on where you're drafted. You're first round pick. Your expectations are high. Second round pick expectations are not as high as your first round pick. And then third round, I'm lying. Top 100 players, y'all motherfuckers better get out there. I'm telling you, top 100 players, all I want to see is explosive plays, period. Minimal mistakes and explosive plays. That's what I'm looking for. You drafted in the top 100. Those are my expectations. I don't care if you went 1 through 100 and however many of those comp picks we had. If you went 1 through 1 or whatever, I'm expecting you to execute. Period. End of discussion. And beat me up if my expectations are so high. We got a poll question. Don't forget to participate in the poll question. We'll get to that toward the end of the show. Everybody has had their freaking defensive rookie, and that's kind of dope. But I wanted to highlight one of these players. And Upton Stout has been having, to me, a tremendous camp. From his workouts to his execution on the football field. I really, truly believe Upton Stout is going to be a freaking problem. I do. And the question is he the new shark of the 49ers defense? Now, for those that don't know, for those that are new to the 49ers faithful, we've had a shark. We called him K'Waun Williams. K'Waun Williams was probably one of the best nickel backs for the San Francisco 49ers. I would even say hell in the league. But after he left the Niners and his injuries piled up, he never really returned to that form. And when you want to talk about a guy being locked down, he was so great. And I personally think that Upton Stout, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I personally think he's the perfect blend between K'Waun Williams and Jimmy Ward, who also played nickelback, who played it so well that when K'Waun was done at the position, they moved on from K'Waun. They went to Jimmy Ward and told him, hey, man, we got some safeties. You got to play nickelback. He didn't want to, or his job was threatened, but he did it. And he did it well, right? It's not easy. You're talking playing a different style of football. I mean, your whole technique is different. I mean, these guys are running slants. They're running quick routes. Like your reaction time. And I forgot, you got to be able to tackle, like the run game. Like what happens when there's a run? Well, your ass better be there, right? Like you got to be able to tackle. So you got to be able to shed whatever it is. So your read, your reaction, all of that stuff is crazy. Now, Nick Wagner posted this, and I wanted to highlight this about him. This is from Daniel Bullock. Now, Daniel Bullock is our defensive backs coach. We also brought in a new guy, but I wanted to talk about what Daniel Bullock had to say. And so go nugget from the 49ers DB coach, Daniel Bullock's on rookie cornerback, Upton Stout. This was the last practice that they had. It says, Bullocks said Stout began watching the teach tapes of various nickel corners after arriving in San Francisco. Now, if you go back to Upton Stout's, initial, he got drafted. He went to the store. he purchased 49er hats for his family. Hey, no one's give it to him. It's like, yo, I'll go buy my own. All right, right then? I knew we had to do. I knew we had to do prior because I was doing mock drafts and I was doing pre-stuff written up on Upton Stout. Plus, I saw him at the Senior Bowl, right? And so I'm like, yo, this kid's gonna be a problem. So yeah, that did it for me. Then the moment he got here, he started watching film. And I think that's super hell of important. All right. That's super hell of important. The moment he got here, he started watching film. All right. So he started, that included K'Wan Williams. Stout liked watching Williams so much he reached out to him during OTAs. The pair struck up a relationship, and Williams sent Stout some cut ups to watch in his downtime. Stout has been in touch with Williams with questions ever since. Here's the quote, though. It says a lot of good things about who K'Wan was as a player. I just talked K'Wan Williams up. Bullock said, we still show teach tapes for guys that played here who did it right. Not just well, but right. That's important. We always are going to talk about those guys from the past, have done it right, done it the right way. And these players that we got now, currently, they're learning from the guys. And then they are taking it and making it their own. So they're taking what they're learning and they're making it own. Me being a musician, an entertainer, and things like that, you know, whenever I cover a person's song, I always want to make sure that I'm doing the person's song, you know, justice. I want people to be able to recognize that this is a song sung by Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder, whatever. But if you study it, if you study the song, if you study their mannerisms, if you study their inflections, if you study the little things that they do for people to recognize and make it your own, it stands out that much more. Now, I'm not the greatest singer, period. I'm not. And sometimes I go off key, out of tune. If I can't hear the music properly, I'm going to be slightly above. That's sharp, or slightly below. That's flat. I'm more sharp than flat because that's how my ear hears things. Not the best, but what people say to me in my feedback is, man, you really did that song. And I'd be like, it was kind of sharp there. They don't give a, they liked it. I like what I'm seeing from from the young Upton Stout, who's taking a person that done what they do right at the position. And you know how hard it is to reach out. And imagine if K'Wan Williams was the type of person that didn't even reply. Just imagine. It could have happened. That could have happened. But I love the fact that, for one, Stout had the balls to reach out to this guy, and shout out to K'Wan Williams for responding. All right. Now, big takeaway from today in general, Stout has really made a strong impression with his maturity and enthusiasm. This is per Nick Wagner for the game. Bullocks recently walked into a meeting room to find Stout watching cut-ups from 2018. So if you aren't familiar who Upton Stout is on the San Francisco 49ers, get familiar, because I really truly feel like Upton Stout may just be the new shark on the 49ers defense. And what I mean by that, we're talking about a player that can diagnose the run, break the run down very well, tackle very well. We're talking about a player that can cover in the slot. It doesn't matter the size, because they play with technique. They believe that their technique will allow them to execute properly. This is not saying that he's not going to get beat or anything like that, but the simple fact that he's playing as a rookie and he's learning to be better from his rookie perspective. He's learning how to come out the gate and ace the test. Man, I got to give Upton Stout a round of applause. And to all the rookies out there. But something about Upton Stout's game, I just think he's the type of dog. It's something about these DBs that we're getting. He's the type of dog you want here on the San Francisco 49ers. He's the type of dog you want here on the San Francisco 49ers. I'm going to say that one more time. He is the type of dog that you want here on the San Francisco 49ers. He is that type of dog. And he gives me Demo vibes. I'm telling you, it's something about him. And the more he makes plays, the more the dog is going to grow. He's a puppy. But the more he makes plays, the more he has a successful play, he's going to turn into a full-blown dog. And I truly appreciate that. All right. So, look, guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in. We're going to wrap this show up. Again, give yourselves a round of applause. Shout out to all the people that gave Super Chat contributions. You are much appreciated. Your Super Chats definitely help out the live streams and stuff for the show so that I can continue to bring you the quality content. Listen, man, the editing. Look, when I tell you I miss COVID, I miss it. I mean, even CapCut costs like $200 a year. That junk was free. Like, it was. How did it go from free? How did it go from getting all the bells and whistles for free to $180? I don't get it, but I do appreciate y'all. I'm not asking y'all for money, but thank y'all for helping support what we do here on the Wayne Breezie channel. I appreciate you again. Now, poll question. Ooh, sugar snaps. Man, you guys are great. Like, I like the look, it came in. Now, if I had to vote on this poll question, I think y'all know who my answer is, right? It would be Upton Stout. But you, the faithful, 40% of the votes to the question, which defensive rookie has the potential to be the biggest factor in 2025? You guys all picked Mykel Williams, with second CJ West at 36%, Upton Stout at 16%, and Alfred Collins at a 5%. We had 71 votes. We had over 170 people watching this live show, so I appreciate that as well. Now, listen, I expect, is that green juice. I expect all the rookies to get in, to do what they're asked to do. If they get the opportunity, they're going to get in and do what they have to do. Maybe on Friday, we'll look at some of the offensive rookies and kind of take it that way. Jordan Watkins seems to be having a great camp, and we'll look into that because Brock is going to need to build that rapport with some of these other guys. We're seeing him throw deep passes. Matter of fact, Brock's 2 deep bombs. Jordan Watkins, DeMarcus Robinson, chalk that up, man. Brock is out there cooking and getting acclimated to his new receivers. That's a great sign. So maybe on Friday we'll talk about that and we'll preview the game for sure. Don't forget to check out all the other shows right here on the Wayne Breezie channel. We got the BAM show, which will be Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time with Mike from Nothing But Niners. So make sure you guys are tuned in. It's going to be a live show. I know you guys like the live shows. We'll be back. All right. And then don't forget to check out the What's Your Fantasy show and some of the other stuff that we have going on right here on the channel. What's Your Fantasy live show will be coming up in about 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll be going live, Peachy and myself, and we'll be talking about fantasy football for you guys. Get your questions ready and all that good stuff on Tuesday nights. All right. So that's going to be interesting. And for those that miss Nitty Gritty Niners, we'll be back once the season hits. The week of football, we'll be previewing our first game against the Seattle Seahawks on the road. Like and subscribe. Love y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Shout out to all the members of the Breezy Bunch crew. Love you as well. 49er Jeff, I'll see you out there, baby. All right. Salute. Keep it faithful to the Bay. We out.
What's up, faithful? Thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and make sure you check out some of the other cool videos.